Welcome back to Final Fantasy XVI. We just have one more side quest to do. That's it. That is at least available right now. There could be more. And I feel like there probably is more because I still need 3 total items for Clive's chambers. Alright, brother. What's in store for us?
Ah, Clive.
What do you think about all this?
This is it then, brother.
Our last dance with Ultima awaits. Only the Founder knows what awaits us up there.
Indeed.
But whatever we find, we shall overcome it. It would not do to disappoint our friends. They all believe in you, Clive. They would follow you to the ends of the earth if they could.
You're wrong.
My friends don't follow me. They spur me on. I couldn't have made it this far without them. Nor without you, Joshua. You gave me your blessing and made me your shield. Without you, I don't know how I would ever survived. Even when we were apart, you were always with me, and I trust you'll be with me now until the end.
Of course.
Whenever that may be.
Joshua, what's wrong? And don't say nothing.
It's not nothing. I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will, or something akin to it.
His will? How and where?
In the crypt beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy yet remained. And in the process of doing so, they found a letter from Father.
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go, but would you join me?
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you do.
Very well. I am ready to leave when you are. Back to Tabor then. Not to be reunited with Yote this time, but with Father.
And I actually do have him in the party.
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father.
Yes, I have it here. If you would do us the honor, my lord.
My beloved sons, I know that I ask much of you in this coming war, but I see no other way to secure a future for our duchy and our family. Yet even should we succeed in subduing the savages and winning back Drake's breath, the threat of the Blight still looms, and only with all Rosaria striving as one might we at last overcome it. I have made plans to see us through, but such are the obstacles that stand in our way. It shall likely fall to you to continue my work. I know that you have the strength, the courage, and the will to do so. This shall be an arduous inheritance, and so I offer you another, that you might be reminded of the love and the faith that I hold for both of you, your father.
An inheritance?
It
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans he spoke of?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer of the Burning Quill, who entrusted them in turn to me. The complete emancipation of bearers is their stated aim. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical technologies. With the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins, Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's survival.
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. To see centuries of common wisdom overturned. Small wonder he did not think it achievable within his lifetime.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, he would never have written this message. Nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful aides, those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of the less benevolent personages at court.
It's a pity only they are still with us.
It is true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath. But one at least remains, and she has come bearing gifts.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she explain, my lord. After all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor extended only to recovering His Grace's will and arranging a meeting with the one who might execute it, or a part of it at least.
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, Your Grace.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
My lord, your grace. I hardly recognize you. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant to the Phoenix and his shields. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a gift. I only hope you can forgive my tardiness in bringing it to you.
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service to our house and to our father.
I merely did my duty, as any proud Rosarian would.
My lady, perhaps you could explain a little more? What exactly is the gift you bring?
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain keepsakes upon their coming of age.
Indeed it has. Our father often spoke of the day when our turn would come.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Matching armbands for you both. Alas, he did not live. Indeed, he was taken from us even before they could be completed. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be finished himself, but it was not to be. And his gifts remain incomplete.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you, as they are. It was your father's wish that you be presented with the finished articles, not these, works in progress, but with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed. I had little choice. You are grown men now, and his house is yours. And while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in his stead, I know that nothing would have pleased him more than for you to do so.
Thank you, Lady Goditha.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady. May our father's will be done.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this Heartstone, my lady?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more than simply happening upon it. It is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen has made its nest in Titan's Wake, not far from here.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In answer to your unspoken question, yes. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. I have been tracking its movements since you were but a boy. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield, it would surely make your father proud.
What say you, Joshua?
What else?
The griffin your father meant to slay is currently nesting in Titan's Wake, not far from here. Slay it in his stead, and claim the Heartstone that he could not.
Titan's Wake is to the south of here. But we must not be hasty. The good lady has been disappointed once already.
Eyes peeled, Joshua.
There it is.
The House Rosfield.
Completely missed that.
Nice try.
Yeah, if I had better foresight, I would have known to put my better moves for bosses on, and I had a good opportunity to do that when after I talked to the old lady. I knew I was going to fight a griffin, knew it was going to be a boss fight, I just didn't think to do it. What can I say?
Nice try.
What? No, fuck. Gotta get back.
No holding back.
What the fuck just happened?
That's better.
It has full health again. I feel like this was supposed to happen though, because Clive did say you were holding back. So I guess this was supposed to happen. It happened in such a way where I thought I got far enough back from it that the game did again what it has been doing every once in a while, and the enemies, like, I kind of get taken out of battle just for it to restart. I don't think that's the case here, but I guess we'll see. If it has new moves and stuff, because it indeed was holding back, then that'll answer the question. Is that a new move? I think it is.
Nice try.
I fucked it up. I fucked it up. No, I do keep getting, like, put out of battle. This fucking sucks. Are you fucking kidding me? This is, what the fuck, game? Honestly, don't get fucking far away from it. Never fucking stagger you, just in the nick of time.
Fine hat.
took it too fucking far back.
Is this the Heartstone?
I expect Lady Godotha will know.
Thank the Founder you were safe. The Griffin is slain then?
And the Heartstone claimed.
Yes. This radiant luster, like frozen flame, it is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your grace. Your father would be so proud.
Lady Godotha, the lapidary is ready.
Thank you, Cyril. I will be with him shortly. If you would excuse me, I shall have the stone cut and set forthwith. The armbands are complete. Pray, take them. They are yours, after all. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even ruby. It symbolizes unwavering will and devotion. And the graven vines encircling the stone represent the unbreakable bonds between you.
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies both inside and outside the duchy. Enemies who would thwart his vision. Only with unwavering devotion would it ever be realized.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield, as brothers in arms, only then might those enemies be overcome.
Indeed. His Grace knew the enormity of the task he would entrust to you, his heirs. But this was more than just a message. It was a promise. That he would always be with you.
Thank you, Lady Godotha, for remaining the steadfast custodian of our father's will.
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So, how were you able to keep them from her?
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant, your father spoke to me of his intentions for the bands, of the deep love he had for both of you, and his hopes for your future. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewelry be sent away from the castle. It was then that I knew she meant to betray us. I tried to warn your father, but it was too late. When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I took up the armbands and I fled into the night.
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the Griffin, thinking I might claim the Heartstone on its passing. And so my pursuit continued, until Lord Cyril appeared before me. He informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered, and that his sons were alive and well.
Lady Godotha, on behalf of my father and all the people of Rosaria, I thank you for your loyal service.
As do I.
Thank you, my lord. Your grace, for coming back to us, for giving my service meaning. I remain your faithful servant, my lord.
The Undying are not the only secret fellowship in this realm, you know. There are others, each working for their own ends. Why, not so very long ago, a society committed to discovering how one might cast magics without a catalyst was found to be operating throughout Valisthea. They were denounced as heretics, rooted out, and driven from our shores, never to be seen again.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance that was denied you for so long.
It is. And we thank you for the part you played, Cyril.
You're not Tyler, are you?
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest that you make your way to your father's memorial atop Hawk's Cry Cliff? Let him see that you have received his blessing, and that his vision lives on in you.
I don't think this is Tyler.
It would be churlish not to. What do you say, Clive?
I don't think Tyler's face looked like that.
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks before we left for Origin.
Your father's helm is enshrined there. It has been since the day we recovered it from Phoenix Gate. I prithee claim it, for it too is a part of your inheritance, and I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands than perched upon some lonely rock.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. He's waiting. Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
Save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies. Of that I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us would have made all the difference.
It's back there.
I remember this grave.
Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
Where you were literally 6 years old.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, he was the greatest of men. And I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then.
Onward. To the end.
And to a new beginning.
Cool. Oh, another quest. Another one has opened up. It's in the paperwork. A hideaway welcome. Ida seems fond of the silver bowl we gave her, so much so she's been taking to setting it atop her belly as she rests. To hear her tell it, the rascal kicks something fierce when she does, too. Sounds like we've another fighter on our hands. And none too soon. I can hardly wait to teach our newest little curse breaker everything I know. Though I suppose we can all celebrate first. No need to get ahead of ourselves now. Gav. The Wages of Fate. Do you remember what you told me that night at Phoenix Gate? That while the fate of Rosaria sits on my shoulders, the fate of its dominant sits upon yours. But are we not both dominants of fire? Does not the flame of our forebears burn in both our hearts? Should I not protect you as you have protected me? You have chosen to be my shield. Now let me choose to be yours. Is this not what our father wanted? What Sid wanted? To cast aside fate and forge our own paths? Grant me this, Clive. Let me be your strength. Joshua. Concern for Jill. Though her Akon brought her much suffering, the loss of Shiva weighs heavy on her heart, and we would be poor friends indeed if we not seek to lighten that burden. But no, even but only a fraction before we depart for the skies. I would speak on this more in private, Joshua.
If Joshua's worried about Jill, I should go and speak with him. Joshua, I read your message. You You're right. Jill is different. I don't think I'd realized how different, but since we've returned from Drake's spine, I've felt it more and more.
I suppose it's not hard to imagine why.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her she is still one of us. To let her know that we still need her, now more than ever. That you still need her. But how to do that? When last we were truly close, we were but children.
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the Duchy? And Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man's Hill.
To see the snow daisies, I remember. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he had the entire retinue down to the pot boys combing the countryside.
In the rain. A thunderstorm forced us to take refuge in a grove of oaks before we'd even made it halfway there. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say, he was none too pleased.
Then it seems you and Jill have unfinished business. What do you say?
Man's Hill. It's not that far.
True. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern Rosaria remains as it was when we were children.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandits?
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow daisies left. What would you do without me, Clive? I can't say my travels ever took me back to Man's Hill. I'm curious to see how it has fared.
Right back to this place. Ah.
This is the place, but
I'm sorry, Clive.
there's nowhere been spared. What do we do now?
We keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where snow daisies grow.
Perhaps, but it's the only place I know of. Knew of.
Then why not ask someone who might know of another?
Someone in the backyard. To the hideaway, then.
Went all the way there just to go all the way back to the hideaway.
Let's hope one of the gardeners knows where to find snow daisies.
Just pointing it out.
As to where we might find information on the realm's flora. Leave it with me. You search for answers in the backyard.
Is there out you need? Be seeing ya.
Say what you will. Lady Karen's. This should tide us over until the new moon.
Oh. What brings you down from the heavens, Sid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough to carry the seeds. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps? Both have similar climbs and the right elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the royal meadows in Sembrak.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote was right. I recalled that she kept a record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew, and she mentioned Oilefeist Bay.
Whose shores border the meadows. Off we go then.
The winds that blow across the royal meadows from Oilefeist Bay are strong indeed. Strong enough for snow daisies, it seems.
And how might I help the garrison today?
This quest is kind of taking me all over the place.
The Duke has pledged to work with the people of Northreach to rebuild the Empire.
Better late than never.
Carla, the Dame needn't worry. I am a man of my word, and I fully intend to keep it. So overzealous was I in my desire to see the Empire restored that I lost sight of what was truly important. The citizenry.
Let me go see the dame real quick since I'm here. Just to make sure she doesn't say anything else I haven't heard. Let me see if I can ask her about origin or whatever else.
Looks like you've got a thirst. We can remedy that.
Can you now?
But enough talk. How about we retire to the Vale?
I'd like that, but the Duke, he still hasn't paid us.
Are you here for
Aha.
conversation?
Yeah. As if running the Vale weren't enough, it would appear I have been elected the town people's representative.
For his part.
For his part, the Duke concurred, though it would scarcely have mattered if he hadn't. So unanimous was the claimer. Had he known that trying to pit us against each other would only result in our bonds growing stronger, I dare say he might have taken a different approach. He underestimated us, though, to be fair, we underestimated ourselves. Northreach will only be as strong as the sum of her people, and it was when we stood united that we stood tallest. We cannot simply rely on a wall to protect us. We must be the wall, and I intend to be when my other roles permit.
Well,
I think it's safe to say he showed the Duke of Naught the error of his ways. The problem with so many leaders of men is that they know little of the men they wish to lead. Having seen firsthand who we are and what it is we fight for, perhaps now we will better understand how to govern us. He is already in talks with the merchants about fortifying the markets and constructing new housing on the far side of the wall, which should certainly endear him to those who, until recently, should cheerfully have tied a noose around his neck.
why?
He's even made amends with his daughter Sabine, for as long as one might with a fiery a spirit as she.
Yes.
Despite the Duke's many failings, which are divers and plenty, mind you, I believe his love for the Empire and his desire to see it endure in these its darkest of days are sincere.
And who knows?
In time, we may yet allow him to add Duke of Northreach to his list of titles.
The last few years
have been anything but kind to Northreach. Yet we've managed to endure in spite of it all, with a little help, of course. And while it's still a shadow of what it was before the fall of Drake's Head, the town has rediscovered something I had half given up for loss.
Hope.
Hope that tomorrow might be a better day. You can see it in the eyes in each and every one of us, in our smiles.
Belief that we all matter.
That we can all make a difference. We are not merchants, soldiers, courtesans, or even bears. We are the people of Northreach, and we are one. The world around us may be dying, but here in the shadow of this forgotten wall, we found a new life for ourselves. We've put aside past quarrels, put aside our pride, that we might make space in our hearts for more important things, like each other.
Should the skies grow even darker?
We will not fret, for we know we can overcome anything as long as we stand together.
We really mustn't stop meeting like this.
But enough talk. How about we retire to the Vale?
Looks like you've got a thirst.
Those things didn't fight like men.
The meadows are vast. Where do we even start?
They mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
Uh-oh, looks like we're gonna have to do some fighting. Is this one of the notorious marks? It sure is. The Prince of Death. Ow. Fuck that. Somebody's freaking out. I'm trying to potion, but oh, I'm out of potions. Damn it. Forgot to restock. Fuck you. Oh, fuck.
I'm getting tired of these things.
And how might I help the garrison today?
Those things didn't fight like men.
Caution, brother.
Yeah, where the fuck are these flowers? That's probably them over there. Yep.
Flowers and our friends.
Second boss.
What do you see, boy?
Big Daddy.
Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find out.
Hit me. Hit me with your best shot. Come on in, hit me with your best shot. Too late on that block. Whoa. Where the fuck are the new enemies at? I don't know how that wouldn't block. Shit. Somebody smack me. Somebody appear before me and just smack the fuck out of me. Bam.
That was harder than I expected. But Founder, it was worth it. They're beautiful.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them. Come on. Let's go.
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you. Well, you and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we? No, you needn't worry about me, Clive. I doubt Jill would appreciate my presence on your outing.
You know it would be a great reward for completing all the side quests in the game. Assuming this is the last side quest. It's getting a sex scene between Clive and Jill. Now that would just be
Still alive,
the cherry on top of this whole game.
Going past
Let me just say.
down.
Let's throw all the other babes into that. Let's get Mid in there and fucking
You're not find a better
Yote
price
and
than that.
the redhead.
Rubbing me blind, you know.
And let's get Benedicta to come back from the dead and have her join in. Just fucking just a big orgy as the ultimate prize for completing all the quests. It would just be beautiful. Hey bitch, I got you flowers.
Jill, there's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. Now, I know this is sudden, but how would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough. We've been worried about you, Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped, so lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling. Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did?
No? What?
I slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized that no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come. That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us? When all this is over?
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have. I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure. We should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
Well, that was nice. Now she's in the party from here on out. I mean, that's cool. They'll be useful to... Her and Joshua both will be useful to have in hunts, but I don't think there are any S-rank hunts. Any other quests pop up? No? I'm only missing one item for my chamber. Maybe that's something you get by beating the game. I mean, I think every other single treasure for the chambers has been through side quests, right? But maybe the last one is... Maybe you do get the last one by just beating the game? Maybe? I kind of feel that's not the case, though. The greatest gift. It feels like a lifetime ago. It was a lifetime ago. The afternoon on Man's Hill was our very first adventure, but somehow I knew even then that it would not be our last. I will never forget that day, and the simple fact that you have not either fills my heart with a joy so fierce I cannot describe it. Since the moment we first met, you have always been an important part of me, the half that makes me whole. When times are darkest, you are my light. When I am lost, you are my guiding star. You are just what I need. You are all that I need. You are the greatest gift, Jill. Garland. A Final Fantasy I reference. As I adjust my glasses sitting on my face. Because I'm a nerd. Well, I don't think it's no coincidence that the last item here is... Well, let me reword this. I don't think it's a coincidence that the one treasure I'm missing is the very last treasure listed here on the bottom. So maybe it is something that I get for just beating the game. Excuse me. But no other quests have opened up, so We finally reached an end to that. Most of them were pretty nice, though. Nice, interesting quests. So now we'll get into the notorious marks the next episode. Is there anything else? I kind of feel like there's one. Oh yeah, of course. I'm gonna attempt to do the plaques that are all hanging around the world that give us trials. I'll attempt those again. We'll just have to see how all that goes. I might need to try to master all my moves. I don't know if I probably won't have enough AP to do that, because those trials do force you to use certain moves. You can only use like 2 or 1 maybe moves in certain parts of the trial, so it's not gonna be easy. Anyway, this episode, damn, I didn't realize this episode has went as long as it did. But yeah, this is where I'm gonna end this one. Until next time.